Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for that wonderful concert with Aditya Prakash and Arun Ramamurthy. We're so excited to be back presenting concerts, even if it's just like this. We really miss seeing everybody in person. We hope that that can happen again sometime really soon. My name is Nishta, and I'm the founder of District of Raga. And I'd like to now bring in Aditya Prakash, who is going to be answering questions. So please do ask your questions in the comments and engage in a conversation with us.
Hi.
Hi, Aditya.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. That's pretty cool to watch that.
Yeah, that was a really nice game you guys were playing. That was really creative. Was that something you did previously, or is that like a new thing?
I thought of it on the car ride to Irvine, which is where Arun lives.
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, how do we make this more like fun? And because I hadn't practiced with him in a while, and he's a good friend, so I love practicing with him. So I was like, let's make it fun and like it's been a while since we've played together or practiced together, so something to kind of just make it fun. So.
That's awesome. How have you been doing? I know this is a really hard time for artists and musicians, and how
Yeah.
have you been spending your time, and how are you doing?
Well, I just got back from a camping trip, which was an amazing recharge. I felt like I'm so used to traveling and getting a different scenery every so often. And I mean, it's usually for performances. So obviously that is, and this year I was supposed to go to all sorts of places that I was really excited about, but obviously none of that happened. So I, I do think part of me feels strange being in one place for so long. So, it's been tough to navigate that part, and to navigate staying motivated, and because there's periods where I go through a lot of like motivation, and I'm just practicing regularly. I'm writing a lot of new music, and then there's periods where nothing happens, and
Mhm.
it's really tough. You don't understand why, and I think just sometimes you need to just get away and recharge, maybe take a break and recalibrate, and so that's what I did, and I got back yesterday, so I'll see how
Awesome.
it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So, what else are you working on right now musically?
Well, I just released an album with my band, Aditya Prakash Ensemble, this year, and we're supposed to tour that album. And like that, it was released like on the 2 days or like a week after the lockdown was announced.
Mhm.
And so the date was set, and the tour was set to be happening a week after the release in March, the end of March, and it all got canceled. So it was it was a big setback, but I mean, it was also a chance for me to kind of get back in like a scheduled routine, which is something I haven't had for 3 years because I've been touring a lot and traveling. So this year I've just been, that was my biggest thing, that release. And other than that, it's just kind of how I navigate my own daily practice schedule and how I prepare. I'm like already working on my next album, so I'm just writing the new material for that,
Yeah.
and trying to just navigate this whole virtual concert space, and trying to just slowly build up my own recording equipment so I can not rely on going to studios or
Sure.
yeah, because I mean that's going to be the new normal from now on for a
Yeah.
while.
Absolutely. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were really excited we were gonna host you and your whole ensemble back in March,
Yeah,
and we were
I
looking
know, I know. I was so excited for that.
forward to hearing that music. But I think we'll hopefully get a chance to do it again in the future.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Speaking of touring and performing, my husband was reading your bio earlier today, and he's asking a question. What was it like to perform with Ravi Shankar at 16?
Oh my God. I think when I was 16, I didn't realize the greatness. I mean, I realized the greatness of Ravi Ji, but I didn't realize the greatness of this opportunity I had. I mean, I was obviously very excited, but I think it kind of hit me later that holy crap, I just toured with Pandit Ravi Ji, and I was a kid. I was the youngest person. I was a baby of the tour, obviously. Um, but it was just such an amazing experience. The first time I was exposed to like the professional touring circuit,
Hmm.
going to places like Carnegie Hall, Disney Hall, Hollywood Bowl, all these amazing centers where, and it was the first time I was performing my music to a mostly non-Indian audience. And I didn't really know that kind of existed for the Indian classical space until then, and I didn't know the tour bus life, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was on tour for about 2.5, 3 months straight.
Wow.
I missed my first 3 months of my senior year in high school.
Wow.
I was doing I was studying on my own for the SATs, and I was getting help like doing online tutoring with my with a tutor back in LA. And I took the SAT in New York at like a random high school the day of Carnegie Hall show, the morning of. So I think if it happened now, I'd probably be a lot more stressed. I feel like then I just kind of took it with the flow. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about it. I don't think I'd be able to take an exam the same day as a Carnegie Hall show. But I was 16 and I was young, and I think I was excited to explore new opportunities. And I mean, maybe I was stressed. I don't know, but I don't remember it now. But it was just an incredible opportunity to travel and bond with some great musicians and with Raviji himself.
Of course. Yeah.
And yeah, I get to just ask him questions, and I loved. He was so down to earth that he would really engage everyone. He would talk to us and tell us stories, and he was just such a humble person. So it just made me realize the importance of, no matter how great you are, to always be down to earth. And if someone like him can do it, then
yeah,
sure, everyone should be doing it. No one should be arrogant as a successful musician. So that was an important lesson I learned from him as well.
Nice. What a memory to cherish forever.
Absolutely.
We have another question coming in from Neelam Jeet. How have the Lakers influenced your artistic success?
Neil Bhai, what a fantastic and deep question. I don't know if I can answer it properly. It's going to take a long time. The Lakers have actually been a part of, since I became obsessed with Carnatic music, I was obsessed with the Lakers around my before I was a teenager, yeah, like 10 or even earlier. And my dad exposed me to Carnatic music, and I mean, not my dad, my mom also, my family, but my dad was the one who exposed me to the Lakers, and so they kind of go hand in hand, I think.
Another question from Ben. Do you have a favorite rag?
Hi, Ben. At one point in my life, I did. It changed during certain times. I loved Kannada, Kadhara Priya, Kapi. But now I really don't have a favorite raga. I honestly, I start, when I sing a raga, I just love it, no matter what it is. I just love it. It's really changed, and I really, I mean, sometimes I'm in the mood to listen to a particular raga or sing a particular raga, but I love all of them pretty much equally, I'd say. I mean, yeah, I guess I have a penchant towards some ragas like Shankarabharanam, Kadhara Priya, Bhairavi, Todi, even Kannada still. But I mean, I think at a certain point you just find beauty in all the ragas. There's so much to explore, and that itself makes it a favorite at that moment. When you're in that moment, that's the favorite because it's so in the moment.
Yeah. We have a comment from Vijay saying, glad to see you once again.
Thank you, Vijay.
And another question from Vinay. Can you talk about the experience of how you express own personality and style when you sing Carnatic music, and especially how it manifests in the way you present and explore a raga?
Hey, Vinay. Good to hear from you. You always ask me very difficult questions I don't have an answer to. Can you tell us how you express own personality and style when you sing Carnatic music and present a raga? I think I'm not at a point where I'm thinking about how to express, how to how to show off my style. I think I'm just kind of, I think first of all, the most important thing is to listen to a lot of music and listen to the music of like some of the yesteryear masters. That's something that's big in our Carnatic tradition. And I think a lot of even jazz, it's important to listen to the greats to know how the music has evolved and what kind of music what kind of legacy you're being gifted and handed down, because it kind of gives you a sort of responsibility to the tradition. And that's also something I learned is mano dharma. The dharma part is about doing your duty, and there's a sort of responsibility in the improvisation. There's a responsibility to know about the raga, to study it, and to present it. And it's not just free improvisation. Can't just do whatever you want. There's a beauty in having the structure and having a deep tradition that has a certain path that we just have to kind of follow, and as we follow it, we discover things on our own. And I think the most important thing is to listen to a lot and let it really soak in your blood, soak in your body. So you're not thinking of the mechanics, you're not thinking of the rules, you're just exploring the raga, how you feel in that moment. And it's very much, I think your own personality or style will come out naturally when you're very much in the moment, when you're not trying to copy someone, when you're not when you're not trying to do something, you're just reacting to the raga, how it sounds. When you're listening to yourself and you're reacting to that sound, how it sounds, then your next move is just a reaction to that last second. And it's very spontaneous. And I think when you do that, your own personality comes out very clearly, because you're not imitating, you're just reacting to yourself and to the raga.
Awesome. Next question from Vijay. What is equivalent to Bhagyashri in Carnatic?
Bhagyashri is actually a North Indian raga, and it was adapted, taken into the South Indian Carnatic style. And that's happened a lot, even vice versa. And the North Indian style has taken ragas like Charukeshi, Semendra Madhyamam, Vachaspati. So Bhagyashri is not actually inherently Carnatic. It's a North Indian raga.
Is there something similar?
Kannada is kind of similar. Saripaga madani papa mapaga ga madisa ga madani sani rama paga marini sama. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of similar.
Samir has a question. How do you personally explain to your crossover project musicians about the vibe of ragas? Share recordings and or explain the rules of the ragas?
That's a great question, Samir. Hey, Samir. I don't really explain. I just kind of tell them the notes in the raga and the movements of the raga, and I don't really give them too much background. I just let them listen to it, and I let them kind of play it in their own way, because I don't want to. I'm more interested in how they react to this raga, coming from a different perspective. And sometimes there's phrases that are totally, probably quote unquote wrong or not in the raga, but their approach is so natural, and it comes out in their own personal style, that it doesn't take away from the raga. It actually enhances it and gives it a different flavor. And it's not something I could do. I can't copy that and it'll sound wrong when I do it, but when they do it, it sounds right. And so I think that's something that's really cool about having those kind of crossover projects, is the rules kind of bend a bit, and it gives you a space to make it okay to bend the rules. Because when you're in the classical space, I mean, the rules are there, but it's not like you're not obviously thinking of the rules, they're just embedded in you. But now you consciously bring the rules into play in the crossover projects, and you kind of shatter them and break them. And obviously as a classical musician, we kind of hold on to our grounding of the raga, but then there are some notes that are not in the raga, but they still kind of complement the raga in certain ways. And I think those are things we can explore in these kind of crossover projects. So I don't really share recordings of the ragas. I don't make them play it a certain way. I just kind of inform them of the rules, like just the notes of the raga and the sort of phrases that are popular, and I just start singing it and see how they react.
I have a question. Speaking of your crossover work, how do you write your music, the harmonies, etc.? Do you collaborate with your fellow ensemble members, or I would love to know about your process.
Yeah, so when it started off in college, I'd just been exposed to jazz and harmony in college, and so I didn't really have a strong understanding of it. I was comfortable composing melodies. Melodies kind of came naturally to me, and I would work with Julian Lay, who's a uh, pianist in my ensemble, and we would kind of find the right harmonies together. I really loved his harmonic approach. I felt like it kept the raga flavor intact, and it always enhanced the raga because I worked with other people, and sometimes the harmony technically it works, but something about it changes the flavor of the or the color of the raga. So my first intent was keeping the color or the feeling that I felt of the raga. I wanted that to be always intact when harmony was involved. So I learned a lot from him, and then I started finding out what kind of chords I like, what kind of harmonies I like, what I felt suited certain ragas, and I kind of just experimented. Just on a keyboard, I just kind of play around, and I don't really. I know very basic um, rules and the grammar of harmony, but I mostly just kind of use my raga knowledge as my foundation and play around with different clusters of notes and sometimes it's not even a technical correct chord. It might not even make sense harmonically, but to me it sounds like it works with the raga or the mood. So I just kind of it's like a trial and error type process where I just play around.
How long did it take for you to record Diaspora Kid?
It was recorded in. We got a grant from UCLA Ethnomusicology to record in their studio, which is sweet. It was a beautiful studio, brand new, and that happened in 2017 and 2017 and 18. I came back. As I mentioned, I was traveling a lot, so I would come for a few months or weeks, and I would record one set, one chunk, and then I would come back and record another chunk. We recorded everything mostly in like maybe 5 sessions.
Okay.
Two or three sessions with the full band, and then whoever couldn't make it would overdub on the other few sessions. So it was recorded pretty fast. A lot of it was done live, but the mixing process took a while. I kind of took a long break from it, traveling, and I don't think I was in the space to get back to it for a while. And yeah, so I think taking the break helped me kind of decide how I want it to sound. But yeah, it was over. I mean, it was recorded pretty fast, but the break from recording to mixing was quite a while.
Is it difficult for you to switch between presenting Carnatic traditional concerts versus your crossover work?
To me, it's not difficult. It's literally a switch that I turn on and off, and essentially, I'm not really changing much. I'm just with the crossover work. I wouldn't say it's Carnatic. It's inspired from Carnatic. It's taking some of the concepts from Carnatic music and it's reimagining it, and it's kind of almost bending. It's just kind of bending rules and being more relaxed about it. But the way I sing, the intonation, I mean, the way I sing the gamakam is probably a little more intense in Carnatic. The gamakam is that ornamentation that is a big part of the note or the swara in Carnatic. And I think the way I employ that is a little bit different with the cross. Because there's instruments like guitar, bass, piano that can't really bend the note the same way. So there's kind of like a clash there that I find. So I kind of tone down the gamaka a bit. And now I guess my next project is finding ways to be more true to that gamaka and work in that crossover space. So that's my next album. It's gonna take ragas like Todi, Bhairavi, Maya Malvagaula, all these ragas that are considered quote unquote heavy in Carnatic and use them in this crossover space.
Nice. Cool. Well, while we're speaking about Diaspora Kid, I wanted to share your video, which is an intro to the album and just a little bit more about it.
Cool.
And then if there's more questions, people can please continue to comment, and maybe he'll answer a few after the video. So stand by while I pull up that video.
Cool. Cool. 4, 3, 2, 1. My name is Aditya Prakash. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, but my roots are deeply embedded in Carnatic music from South India. I'm really excited to be releasing my new album, Diaspora Kid, on Rope-a-Dope Records, releasing on March 20th. Well, I am a product of the diaspora. My parents moved from Bombay to LA in the 1970s to start a life in America, and I was born and raised here. But me personally, I've always been on the move since I can remember. Since the age of 10, I've been shuttling back and forth from LA to India, Chennai, to train in Carnatic music. And then from the age of 15 or 16, I was invited to tour with Pandit Ravi Shankar. And then subsequently after that, I've just been touring with other very inspiring artists. And I think this album kind of reflects that constant movement or that constant flux. And it's just been a big part of my life. And it reflects the multicultural LA I grew up in, and the diverse array of inspirations I've had. And this album travels through all those inspirations through the lens of the Indian classical voice. On this project, I have been fortunate to work with a powerhouse of 24 musicians, some of LA's best jazz musicians, and I also came to India, to Chennai, to record some amazing Carnatic musicians who I've collaborated with in the past. But nothing is possible without the core members of the ensemble, who I've met and I've known since our college days. We met at UCLA at the musicology, and what started off as just roommates and friends at jam session parties became much, much more when we started seeing the correlation, the space where Indian classical and jazz met. And we found so many similarities in our styles. And that kind of sparked the interest to dive deeper into this collaboration. To me, there's not much that's more special than making music with your friends and getting to share that vulnerability, that connection on stage, and seeing your vision, your creations come to life is really just an incredible experience. The most important collaborator for me on this project is Julian Lay. He's been with me from the beginning when we started this group, not only as a performer, but a co-arranger, co-composer. And on this project, he played obviously on piano, but he also mixed, mastered, and co-produced this album with me. And I'm just so lucky to have him. जग जले पर जिया धरे जग जले पर जिया धरे.
All right, so you can find Aditya's album on his website, and we're gonna link. Here we go.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. all the usual
Okay.
places: iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music.
Wonderful. So I don't see any more comments coming through, or questions. But is there anything, Aditya, that you would like to share with the viewers, or put a spotlight on anything upcoming? Or
I really, I really don't have anything upcoming. It's just working on my new album. I have some new pieces that I've been working on, and I want to find a time to release them. So I mean, I guess if you're not already following me on Instagram or Facebook, I guess that's the best place to like kind of stay in touch. Aditya Prakash at Aditya Prakash Music, and yeah, I want to be sharing more stuff soon. I've taken quite a break. I think I kind of needed it, but I still have been working on a lot of new stuff, so I'm excited to share it.
Awesome.
That's kind of it.
Thank you so much for being part of our live stream series and our very first concert in this series.
My
we hope
pleasure.
to see you in person in the future, and we wish you best of luck with all of your future endeavors, and we'll definitely stay in touch and follow you and check out all of your upcoming projects, and look forward to hearing new music.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I really hope we can come out to DC soon. Bummed about this year, but glad we got to do this. So thanks for asking.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much.
And thanks to Arun, of course, for joining.
And you can find more information about Arun as well. On our Facebook event page, there was a bio there, and I'm sure we can find a way to connect with him too.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Aditya.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please do join us for our next event on November 7th. We're going to be hosting a workshop on Indian classical music with Kamaljeet and Jas Aluwalia. And that will be through our Facebook page. You can go there and check it out. We have a website now, districtofraga.com, and you can follow us at District of Raga. Join our newsletter to be in touch with all of our upcoming events. And I'd like to again say thank you to the Kennedy Center for their support to make these programs available for free. Please do feel free to donate to the artists directly to support them. And thank you all so much again for joining, and we will see you in our next event.